And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 155 of Player Life. It is Friday morning here in Tokyo, Japan. Another hot, sunny day. Um, all is good, all is well. Yeah. So today, I want to talk about getting same day lays. We all we all know about taking girls home for a one night stand, maybe hooking up from a dating app, but not a lot of guys experience getting same day lay, right on the same day. um no bullshit, no like getting her Instagram, getting her line, exchanging contacts. No, you just cold approach, do an immediate, just take her home pretty much. Straight G Toro in house. What's up, brother? Hope you're well. Um, yeah. So the one thing about getting a same day lay is that the most important aspect of that actually is living in a good location, uh, a location that has access easy. It's easy to access. Ideally, there's a lot of foot traffic around it. Downtown areas where there's a lot of shops, cafes, restaurants, basically areas where there's a lot of chicks. That is the reality of the kind of setup you're gonna want to have if you want to like be getting regular same day lays. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Living in having amazing game and living in a terrible location is not as good as having shit game and living in an amazing location. Because you can have kind of like your game can be, if it's like even decent, and you live in a location where there's a lot of hot chicks, and you try your hand at it, you should do pretty well. You should do pretty damn well. But if you're out in the back arse of nowhere, where there's like it takes like 20 minutes to get there by car, you live in the countryside, it's gonna be a lot harder. It's gonna be a lot harder to get same day lays. Um, you know, 5 to 10 minutes can make a difference, basically. When a girl is kind of deciding whether to come with you or not. Um, so logistics are goddamn important. But that's just the way it is. But if you live, you know, your location might not be perfect. I think my location is not exactly, it's not perfect. But I make it work. My I could have better logistics in Tokyo. It's not terrible, but it's not. I'd say my logistics are like a 6 out of 10. If I was to rate my logistics, I'd say, yeah, they're like an average girl. My logistics are like an average girl. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, maybe even a 5.5. Could be just a little bit better. Not terrible though. So a lot of my lay count is not necessarily from same day lays, but I still same day lays are definitely add up for a portion of it. Um, but the only reason is that my house is it's about a my apartment is about a 10-minute walk from an area that's reasonably good to, well, an area, it's all right for doing pickup. It's not bad, but it's a little bit residential. And then from other spots where that is really good to do pickup, it takes about, you'd have to get on a train, and that's the biggest downside. that once you start having to get on like public transport and things like that, it decreases, like the chance of getting a girl being willing to come back with you is a lot less. You know, ideally for same day lays, like 10-15 minutes. If your house is 10-15 minutes from your pickup spot, that's ideal. Like that's the less the better. If it's like 5 minutes, if it's less than 5 minutes, even better. You know, uh, but that then after that, it's basically just about doing as many cold approaches as possible. There's I know guys that have really amazing logistics, and basically pretty much all of their lays are from same day lays. So same day lays are not like some kind of fluke, some kind of getting lucky. It's actually, it's in a way, it's ideal. It's optimal to aim for the same day lay, because once you go getting, obviously you should be trying to get the if you're not a lot of times guys don't have time to be doing same day lays, but you can obviously you go and you try and get the number if you don't have time to if you don't have time to do a same day lay. Obviously you get the social media, you get the number, whatever. But if you have time, guys should. The thing is, a lot of guys don't realize it's possible because they've never done it, and they think that, oh, it's out of my realm, that's not possible for me. So they never really try, give it a proper shot, um, and try it out. But if let's just say your logistics are, you're 5 to 10 minutes, you know, even 15 to 20 minutes walk from a pickup spot where there are, where there are cafes, restaurants, where there's just traffic of young, hot women. Um, you do your basic cold approach. Um, the reason I wanted to talk about, same day lays is just I had a good one on Tuesday, and it's just it's always good. I mean, same day lays are always just it's like sweet. Yeah, it's this is not something that you know. I don't know. I think guys just think it's more like a something out of a porn movie. It doesn't happen in real life. It does happen a lot in real life. I know loads of guys that do it like regularly, and like I said, they do it. They get more women from same day lays than they do from dating apps or nightlife or any other way. So it's absolutely possible, and I've done it so many times. And if you just put in the numbers, because there's a lot of things that have to add up, that have to align. There's a few things that have to align in order to get a same day lay. Because first of all, you have to be free. You have to be free. You have to have time, to spend, going out and taking a girl back to your place and banging her. That's you have to have a clear schedule, and obviously, the girl that you're approaching has to have a kind of empty schedule where she's not doesn't have to be anywhere. She's open to um, you know hanging out. So, and then she has to be kind of into you. She has to be, into you, and, you know, uh, and you have to be able to bring the game so that she's, gets comfortable enough with you to come back to your place. And the thing about it is, if you live 5 to 10 minutes, 10 minutes from your place, ideally what you should do is, you're going to have to spend a little bit of time building up some rapport with the chick. But what guys don't realize is guys guys overestimate how much time you actually have to spend like building up rapport. Guys think that, oh, it's like I have to go on 3 or 4 dates with this girl before she'll even think about sleeping with me. Guys have no idea how what it's actually like. I mean, if you make a good impression and you like come across as a cool guy and you make her laugh, you put her at ease, and she can communicate well with her. This girl can be you can be banging a girl like that within 30 minutes of meeting her. Literally, that can happen. That is that's not some kind of crazy fantasy. That's not some kind of mythical thing. That can actually happen. That has happened to me. I've done it before. I'll do it again. It's not it. I'm talking about meeting a complete stranger on the street, a chick, a cute, hot chick, and you can be banging them within half an hour. Sounds unbelievable. You're like, oh, she must be a turbo whore. Like it only girls that do that are only super whores. No, that's not the case. It's just if you have good enough game, you can get them. You can get girls to do that. It's not some kind of just crazy thing that's never going to happen. It can happen. It does happen, and it will continue to happen all throughout the world. It's just that not a lot of guys get laid that way. Not a lot of guys know that that's even possible. Like I said, guys are just humans are herd creatures, so they follow what they're told, or they follow what society tells them is acceptable. And society tells us that going to bars and dark rooms, nightclubs, consuming alcohol, and it's acceptable to approach girls in those locations. Um, Even though over time it's in Western societies, it's like there's nothing that's acceptable. It's like just with the woke agenda, the woke culture. It's like even you're starting to hear like even that it's unacceptable to approach girls even in bars and clubs. It's so absurd. Like it's an absurd culture. It's retarded. It's a an entirely gynocentric culture. It's like they're trying to remove all the sexual agency from men while giving women all increasing maximizing the female sexual agency. So obviously females want entire the control over who they get to sleep with entirely, like 100%. Not obviously everyone should have control over who they get to sleep with, but but I'm what I'm saying is in Western society they want to take all the agency away from men. Like they want it to be, they're trying to weed out the beta males, like by making sure that they'll be too afraid to approach because it's they've been told by the media that it's unacceptable. And who's going to follow those rules? Obviously the beta males. And women don't want beta males approaching them. They don't want it. Rolla Tomasi talks about it a lot. A female's worst nightmare is to realize that is to think that she could get tricked by a beta male, to think that she could get fooled by some beta male that has some game, and that she could end up with a beta male. That's why females hate guys that learn game. Well, they hate the idea of guys learning game, because it goes against, it's like they think, oh, it's like alpha males, guys that are alpha males should just be alpha males. But what women don't understand is men are made, women just are. Like men can be made. You can be made into, like, forget about genetics. Yeah, some guys might have like some genetics that they might look more alpha, but you could have a guy that looks genetically alpha and is like a beta lefty simp. That can happen. But it's a lot about mentality, whether or not you're beta or alpha. It obviously physicality plays a part on it, but women don't like the idea because in a way they understand that men can, that men are made and women just are, and they don't like it. Actually, I don't. I'll take that back. I don't know if they understand it, but um, like I said, the reason they don't like women, they don't like guys learning game is because it's like they think that the guy is fooling them and that they're somehow being tricked. But obviously, uh, I tell guys it's like you got to make yourself, you got to become the best version of yourself. So it's like what's wrong with that? um, the straight G says facts. Men are made. Women don't need game. Men need game. And absolutely, women do not need game. It's just hilarious, even the idea of women, thinking that women would need game. Okay, so OJ says, how many approaches you do per day? It depends on what I'm doing, or but until I get bored of it, until I get sick of it. But I'll talk about what happened on Tuesday. So I'm out. I had some things to do. I just had to buy some clothes on Tuesday. Pretty much that was it. So I decided to go to a spot where there was a lot of women. Obviously I was thinking about doing some game as well. But when I go and do some game, I always like to have some things that I like, that I need to do, like just even small things like buying some fucking underwear, buying some boxer shorts, or something that you just need to do instead of just going out the sole purpose of doing game. That's just me. I think it's not a bad idea too. If you just have some things to do, just so you're not like completely rudderless. Just like if you had like just tick some things off. You might need to get a haircut. Just some things you want to tick off. You might need to pay some bills. You might need, just and then you can do game at the same time. That's what I like. But so yeah, Tuesday. That's what I kind of had some errands to do, and it was a nice sunny day. So I went down to a spot where has a lot of chicks in Tokyo by the name of Shibuya. Yeah, very very famous spot in Tokyo. Very crowded with hot chicks. Like you go there, you're gonna have a good time. There's a lot of eye candy. Let's just put it like that. So I did what I needed to do. I bought what I needed to buy, and I started. I was doing a bit of cold approach along the way, and Shibuya, this spot is like, so it's a double-edged sword. It has the hottest chicks, like it has like so many hot chicks. There's just so much abundance. There's so many opportunities to approach hot chicks because there's so many around. Like there's shops, and they're walking on the street, they're everywhere, and they're almost all bangable. It's crazy. Yeah, and some of them are super bangable, like super hot, and sexy fashion, all that kind of shit. But yeah, I got iced out for the first like 6 or 7 chicks. Like, I mean, just completely iced out. And it's that's part of the game. But and I mean, God, I've been iced out so many times in my life. I mean, what I mean by iced out is, I mean, when the girl completely ghosts you, you make an approach and she just doesn't even acknowledge your existence. Um, that's part of the game. That will happen. And I'm used to it at this point, but it does kind of drain your energy a little bit. Like it's nice, when you do cold approach, and you can get energized by getting some receptivity. But yeah, I was kind of get that. That's not. I mean, honestly, I'm used to it, but I was kind of a little bit was a little bit de-energized by it, or unenergized or whatever. But yeah, but just by the fact that these hoes were like icing me out, not even looking at me. It was like six in a row. But anyway, um, I think it was a seventh or eighth girl. It started to get a little bit. I got a bit of. It was. I had an interesting approach where this really, like, I'd say 9 out of 10. Who knows? 10 out of 10. She was super hot. She was kind of standing, looking at her phone, standing along the side of the road. I thought she was waiting. It looked like she was waiting for a taxi or something. And I rolled up to her and said, "Hey, what's up?" And immediately she's very very responsive, and she said, "Oh, sorry, I don't speak English." And I was like, "Oh, no problem. I speak Japanese. Fine, fine." But she I was like, "What are you doing today?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for my boyfriend. We're going on a date." I was like, oh, "Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to say I like your style. It's really nice." And she said, "Oh, but my boyfriend is coming." And I was like, "Oh, I don't care. Just give me your Instagram." She's like, "Oh, okay, okay." And she took out her QR code. And just as I was about to, and this girl, like, I just got the vibe that this was a naughty girl. I've seen girls like this before. The way she smiled, the way she giggled, like, this girl was down to smash. Like, I would say there was a good chance she was down to smash. Um, it was definitely a good chance. Anyway, you never know. It's never you can never tell 100%. But I just got the vibe off her, even though she said she had a boyfriend, and he was just kind of putting out these disqualifiers. It doesn't matter. The body language says it all. Like the kind of But yeah, just as I was about to swipe it, like, this car pulls up right, like, in front of it, and she freaks out and, like, says, "Oh, my boyfriend," and then she jumps in the car, and the guy was like looking out, looking really, like, pissed off. But because he saw her, like, I didn't get it. I didn't get her. I was just about to do it, and then she pulled away. But whatever. It was kind of energized me. I was like, oh, that was interesting. That was kind of fun. Because I like that. I like a girl that's being fucking naughty. That's just kind of my preference. That's like better. I'm not saying you should go around smashing girls with boyfriends, but it's my kind of guilty pleasure, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna deny it. I mean, it's just, if it's not me, it's gonna be someone else. But yeah, it's just kind of my guilty pleasure to do that. Just finding these naughty bitches. Um, I could go off on a tangent about, like, girls that are too innocent turn me off. It's a catch-22, isn't it? It's about females. It's like, first of all, I don't want to be. I'm not looking for a girlfriend to be, like, in some kind of long-term relationship. But if I was, obviously, I wouldn't want a girl that's going to be prone to cheating. I wouldn't want a girl that's, has a promiscuous past. But at the same time, that it's like, a girl that's too innocent is also like a turn off. Like, the idea of banging a virgin doesn't isn't very appealing to me. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously, having sex is it's always going to be appealing, but at the same time, like, the idea of dealing with a girl that's, like, has never had the dick before, and it's probably not going to be the best sex you've ever had. Um, uh, you know, um, it's yeah, but everyone has their different preferences. But when it comes to sex, girls with experience are often, you're gonna have a lot better sex with girls that have had a bit of experience. You know, you don't really want to be getting with a girl that's like, oh, it hurts, or, don't touch me there, or that feels weird, or and virgins are going to be far more likely to be like that. Just not very open. It's obviously going to hurt them too. So like, yeah. Personally speaking, I don't get off to when girls are like getting hurt, like hurting. It's not. I want to give pleasure to girls. I don't want to like have to deal with a girl that's like, oh, it hurts. No, not for me. Um, White Rabbit says same day laser for jocks. Rather look for something more in depth. Well, each to their own. I must be a jock then. I don't know. Um, you can go and find something more in depth. You're free to do so. But same day lays are pretty epic in my opinion. And the funny thing is, the girls that you're going to find something more in depth with, and you can find something in depth with them, but these girls, like, you might end up with a girl that you find something in depth with, and she might have done like same day lays with, she could easily have done some same day lays with some jocks. You never know. That's the thing. Guys get it twisted. They think, oh, only whores do that. Only like no. If your game is good enough, you can get even so-called good girls to come back to your place and smash. And it might be a thing where she never did something like that before. It might be a thing where you're the first kind of guy that she did something that naughty with. There's a strong chance that could be the case. It's not like all these girls going around like going on getting smashed from getting picked up on the street by random dudes and getting smashed. No, it's like you could be one of the few guys that have done it. Yeah, so the Straight G says, what do you think about the role location plays in cold approach? Like I said earlier, if you've been listening, location is big. Yeah. Just like your I don't know if you're referring to your the place you're actually doing the cold approach or where you live or whatnot, but location is a big one. I mean, even in Japan, like depending on the spot, like if it's a very quiet place and there's other people around, girls will be far more likely to be less receptive because they'll be embarrassed that other people can hear the conversation. But location's a big one. OJ says, I agree on most of the stuff you said. I game around Shibuya too. The thing I feel like everyone, even the Japanese, are approaching there. So the ignore rate is high, but quality of the girls is high. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, no, like Shibuya is renowned. It's a renowned place in Japan, in Tokyo, for Nampa. Nampa is the Japanese word for pickup, for cold approach. Yeah, so like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It is. It has like many hot girls, but all these girls know that all these girls are getting hit on by guys, and they not only are they getting hit on by guys, but they're aware that Shibuya is like a Nampa spot. So it's kind of like an outdoor nightclub without music. That's what it's like, really. Because like so much pickup happens there, and they're just they have their guard up high. So yeah, let me see. Brent says, hey bro, can you still have sex with a girl if she did something to turn you off? Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you too, bro. I mean, depends on what she did. I mean, one thing that really turns me off is one thing that turns me off is when a girl, if I'm having sex with a girl and she like she tells me, saying not to, she doesn't like a certain position that I like, or she doesn't like something, and she kind of tells me not to do it or something, that turns me off. But obviously, when we're doing something like that, we're already in the act of having sex. But that, I think you might mean before even the act of having sex. I don't know. I'm a real dog, man. If I'm talking to a girl, I'm talking to her because I think she's attractive and I want to bang her. But it takes a lot to turn me off fully. Like, so the answer to your question is, yeah, I probably can. Does it mean it's going to be the best sex I've ever had? Probably not. Um, you know, so the straight G tour says, I got that you said 5 to 10 minutes away. I mean, the place you do the approach. Yes. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, it does. Like I said, it does. I mean, but, sometimes in certain locations, girls, like I said, girls, like there's a spot in Tokyo, like I've been talking about, it's called Shibuya, and it's known for pickup. And if you approach a girl there, she might be more likely to ignore you or ghost you there, uh, than if you were to approach her in a spot that is not renowned for pickup. Um, so yeah, it's just something like, but you can't overthink these things too much. It's like you see a hot girl, you make an approach. You can't be like, oh, she's in this spot, I can't approach her there. Like, as long as you're reasonably strategic about it, um, you know, but the most important thing is that you make the approach and that you learn the little in the intricate things about it, by making like hundreds of approaches. Yeah, so but like I was saying, that on Tuesday, the first bit of traction I got was like after the seventh approach, like, and she was like about to give me her contact, and her boyfriend pulls up right beside us, funny, and he looked pissed off, but whatever, I wish I got her contact, but yeah, it is what it is. So then, I did one or two more approaches. I got a few contacts. I got like two contacts in a row after that. And then it was like the fourth girl after. It was like four in a row where I had good traction, and it was the fourth girl where I saw this girl perfect, giving off all the signals of a girl that you would like perfect location to cold approach and perfect signs that she's open to being cold approached. So it was in a public space in kind of an open pedestrian area, but it wasn't too busy, and it was just like a perfect spot to cold approach because there wasn't many people around that can hear. And the most obvious sign that she had free time and was open to being cold approach is that she was just like kind of strolling along, not walking fast at all, like strolling, like slowly, and like looking at her phone. Obviously, like everyone's looking at their fucking phone if they're walking along like that. Yeah, so she looked hot, like she looked feminine, nice curves on her, wearing a kind of a sexy dress, but you could see the shape of her hips and ass. It was nice. So I was like, damn, this girl looks like a goer. So I went up to her, cold approached her, and I was like, what are you up to? And can you speak English? And she was like, no, I can't speak English. And I was like, oh, daijoubu, nihongo. I can speak Japanese. And I started talking to her, and she at the start she's kind of like pulling away, but I was just I was a little bit persistent, and I was like, what are you doing today, or what are you up to? And she was like, oh, I'm just on my way home. And I said, oh, well, we should come around. I had some small talk with her. I said, I'm from Ireland. Where are you from? Just, and basically, long story short, I one of the things that I do, and I've said it many times, but when I introduce myself, I take their hand, and sometimes I just hold. You can just hold it. Like if they don't pull away, you can just hold their hand while you're talking to them. You just like hold their hand. It's like it really creates some good. If they're into you, like if they're interested, they'll let you. If they're not interested, they'll take their hand away. Trust me, that they will take their hand away. It's kind of a bold. It feels like when you first start doing it, it feels kind of like a bold move just to hold their hand, you know. But it also shows that you have confidence. Shows that you're not a pussy, and you're willing to, make moves like that. So while I was talking to her, I was like holding her hand, and I was just like, so let's just, if you're free, I mean, if you, what are you gonna do when you go home? And she was like, oh well, I have to clean my house. And I was like, oh, you can, I made a joke like, oh, is your house really dirty? And she's like, oh no, it's not dirty, but just messing around with her, teasing her. But she was laughing, she was into it. But I said, let's go for a walk. And you know, she still seemed a little bit hesitant. So I just decided to take her. I needed to, before I tried to, like, I knew immediately I wanted to try and bring this girl home. I wanted to try and smash. So, but the thing is, I had to take a train back to my place. So if I said to her at that point, oh, let's go back to my place and watch a movie and eat a pizza, she would. I'm pretty sure she would, like, definitely not accept. Like, she would make an excuse. She'd say, oh, not today, next time. Yeah, it was too early at that point. I'd been talking to her for 5 minutes, so I said, right, I'm gonna build up a little bit more, another 10-20 minutes, and I'm gonna take her home. I'm gonna try and take her home. Like, she can come if she wants or what. So there was a coffee shop. So I said, let's take a walk. I walked her towards this coffee, Starbucks, and I bought some iced coffees, and we continued to walk. But I was walking back towards the train station at that point, because I was like, okay, and obviously I'm building up rapport with her along the way, joking around with her, chatting to her. But I'm at the same time, I'm planning, like I'm plotting, like I'm a man on a mission. Like I'm taking this, I'm trying to, I'm not delaying. I'm trying to make things go as smooth as possible. And like I said at the start of the stream, if you didn't catch it, like, a lot of guys overestimate how much time you need to spend with a girl to get her comfortable enough to come home with you. You don't need to spend that much time. I needed to spend a little bit more time than, I couldn't just say to her after 5 minutes, okay, let's get the train and go back and watch a movie. It could work. Like, who knows? It could work, but the chances are it's too soon, right? So, just playing it a little bit safe, I tried to spend a little bit more time with her. Not that long, bear in mind, like, we're talking maybe 10 or 15 minutes more. So from the point that I cold approached her to the point where I said, let's where I introduced the idea of coming back to my place to watch a movie, it was probably around 20 minutes. If that's not that long, right? It's really not. Like, 20 minutes, it's not. And a lot of guys think that's crazy. Wow, girl's gonna come back to your place after only knowing you for 20 minutes. They will. Like, some of them, if they're into you enough and you've made a good enough impression, they'll come back. Like, they will. But you got to take the lead. This girl gave so many shit tests. Like, she said so many times where it's like, oh, I mean, at the start, a guy without game would have, as soon as she said, oh, I'm going home, or I have to go home, he would have shot for the contact, and then just like, and said, oh, okay, bye bye, I'll message you later, and they'd never see him. It's just another contact. something might come of it, sure, but you know, obviously, same day lays are, if you're going for the same day lay, it's better, right? So yeah, but this girl said a lot, She said a good few times, like, not like, oh, I have to go home, I'm going home now, but she kind of, was she's looking for weaknesses in my armor, I think, like she's looking to see how interested am I in her really, you know. This is, what she was really trying to find out by saying that. But I mean, she was enjoying it. And when I was walking with her, I was holding her hand. At that point, I just was holding her hand walking down the street, and she was allowing me to do it, and I was massaging her hand while I'm like caressing her, not just like, stiffly holding her hand, like sexually kind of like massaging her hand, like, and the girls like that. And she was totally receptive to it. And so I didn't waste time, basically just walked back towards the train station. We had our iced coffees or whatever. And I said, I introduced the idea. I was like, so first of all, I said, do you like pizza? She said, oh, I love pizza. And I was like, okay, cool. And do you like movies? And she's like, oh yeah, I love movies. And then I asked her, what kind of movies do you like? Do you like horror? And she's like, oh, I hate horror. I can't watch horror. It's scary. I was like, okay, cool. Okay, let's go. Let's go back to my place, and we'll watch a movie, and I'll order a pizza. And she was hesitant at first, and but you know, basically you're selling them, like sex is sales. So like you're selling them this idea, like this nice little idea. Who doesn't like the idea of eating a pizza and watching a movie? That's just a nice image, right? Plausible deniability too. That's obviously, if I said, oh, let's go back to my place for some make out and have sex, there's not a chance in hell that girl, well, 1 in 10,000 chance probably she'd come back, right? It's too direct. I always tell guys, as a rule of thumb, and not always, but have it as a rule that you shouldn't bring up like explicitly sexual talk before you have before you fuck them. You're gonna shoot yourself in the foot a lot of the time. That's the way I play. That's what I figured out over time. You're too explicit with these girls, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot. It can be different with online game, with dating apps and shit. You can. It's a little bit different because yeah, that's another topic though. But I'd say it's a good rule to stand by. You're gonna shoot yourself in the foot if you get too sexual at the. Let your body language speak for itself. Like I'm letting my intentions be known not through my words, but through my, by, for example, by first of all by approaching her, by holding her hand, by caressing her hand, by getting close to her, by touching her hip, by touching her arm, by let your body, let your confidence and body language let her know. You don't need to say it anyway. So selling them the idea of this nice little image watching like a movie eating pizza. Who the fuck doesn't like that? If you don't like that idea, I don't know what's wrong with you. But yeah, she was a little hesitant, and she was like, "Where is it?" Oh, I was like, "Oh no, we can." I was just we can be there in like 20 minutes. Don't worry about it. We just take this train. We'd be there. So yeah, I was just saying it like I was just presuming that she was gonna come. I wasn't like, oh, can you come back to my place? Oh, like, oh, please come back. Let's please have pizza with me. No, it's like, I'm like, it's like, we just, we'll watch a movie, we'll have pizza, it's, we just take this train. So, yeah. At that point, we were like, I was walking like into the train station, like telling her this, and she's just like still following. So I just started walking towards the ticket gate and like just took out my card, swiped it, and she's like, I was like, oh, take out your card, like, we're getting on the train. And she took out her card, swiped it, boom. It's like she's in the ticket gate, she's coming with me. So it's like, just like that. Like you're proceeding with ultimate confidence, like presuming that they're just gonna come, and they'll come. You're leading. You gotta lead all times. And this is like I said, about 20 minutes from the point I met her to like we're already in the ticket gate. Like she's, take the train. Took about 10 minutes to get to my train station. Another 10 minutes back to my place by walk from the train station. So from meeting this girl, like to being in my apartment, in this apartment, it was about 40 minutes. 40 minutes. And if I lived in the proximity of where I cold approached her, it would have been a lot sooner. A lot sooner. So, and it's just same day laser, right? Epic. They're awesome. But my place was a little bit messy, so I just had to cleaned up a little. I sat her down, turned on the TV, let her flick through Netflix just while I cleaned up some laundry. And as soon as I cleaned the place up, it's time for the old mirror technique. And it never fails me. Well, almost never fails me. But this mirror behind me, this mirror has seen a lot of action. But so she was sitting down. I was like, yo, how tall are you again? Because she was wearing high heels. So I was like, oh, how tall are you again? Because you've gotten a lot smaller without the heels. And then she was like, oh. So I, walked in front of the mirror, stood behind her, and she was like 153 centimeters apparently, really petite, sexy, nice. So I was much taller than her, and just start caressing her hips. Then I brush her hair back, start kissing her neck, absolutely, start grabbing her ass, like, just totally receptive to it. It was on, man. This girl was down to fuck, like, So I was basically, yeah, I started fucking this girl within an hour of meeting her, less than an hour. About 45 to 50 minutes after meeting this girl, I was in the act, and she was wearing this little dress where all I had to do was, like, she was wearing this little white crop top and this kind of dress that I just had to, like, flick off the shoulders, and it just dropped to the ground. She has this, like, beautiful curvy chubby ass, like a little tiny little waist. Man, it was a good time. It was a good time. She was wearing these really sexy underwear too. It was like something that makes me think, was this girl like hoping to get picked up that day? Because, like, it was her underwear, everything was like, she was fresh, like she smelled good, everything was like, but yeah, that was like, we got to my place probably at around, I don't know, like it wasn't that late. I don't know, but it was maybe around 7. It was still bright out, that's for sure. But it was like a daytime lay. It was bright outside. It was, but she stayed over. We watched some movies. I ended up ordering a pizza. I think I fucked her like 4 times before we went to bed. We didn't go to bed till like 2 a.m. Woke up. I was passed out. I was like, I woke up. I felt her like kissing my shoulder, and like I turned over, and like she's bright eyed, like wide awake. Man, I love that. Like, you wake up and a girl is like a girl is just really like bright. Like, if you ever experience that, it's nice. You wake up in the morning, a girl with, sometimes it's nice. Usually I'm the one that likes to make the first move in sex. Sometimes I don't like when a girl like initiates sex with me, because it's usually, if I'm not fucking them, it's because I'm not trying to fuck them at that point. But it's different when you wake up in the morning. I was literally asleep, so because I felt they were kissing my shoulder. I turned over and she's like bright eyed, like horny eyes, like bright, kind of watery, just bright. It was, I can't describe it, but it was a nice image just to see her, like, and it's kind of naughty smile on her. Started making out with her, and yeah, so it was I fucked her, and then she just left. She left my apartment, and it was nice. Yeah. So same day lays, man. They're good, man. They're 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 just, I don't know. You might say they're for jocks or whatever, but I'll take them. And the most important thing is just to shoot for it. Have the balls just to actually go for it. Like, it's just a thing where a lot of guys think, oh, it's not possible, or it's not, I can't do that, or it's too bold to move, or I'm gonna mess it up. Who cares if you mess it up? Who gives a shit? Um, you learn from your mistakes. Either way. Brent Caldwell says, for context, 2 nights ago, I pulled a girl off the app right to my place, and after I got her nice and wet, I wanted her to blow me, and she wasn't into it. It killed the vibe for me. She was bad too. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, actually. That's exactly what I said. I said, when I want to do something sexually with a girl, and she's not into it, that's a big turn off for me, because anything I do in the bedroom is because I like doing it. I'm not just doing it for no reason. So it is generally a turn off for me. Um, but usually I make it work um, somehow. But it's definitely going to be like, okay, girls that give me rules and like boundaries and stuff, and kind of restricts me from doing things that I don't want to do in the bedroom, are girls that I'm not going to be hitting up again, because why? Like, sex is sub power. To Like, I can have far better sex with other girls. So if there's a girl that's not letting you do what you want to do in the bedroom, yeah, you need to find a new girl. You need to stop seeing that girl. Like, just cut her off. Like, ghost her, done, next, like, out. You're out. She didn't cut it. She didn't do it. So, abundance mindset. Like, there's been girls that I've hooked up with in the sex. Sex is sex. So it's always should always be kind of good, but there's times where it's like, man, she was too prude. It was too boring. Like, sex I have these days is like kinky as fuck. Like just dirty, like naughty sex. Like, if there's gonna be like, oh, don't touch my ass, or don't touch this, it's like, I don't know. I'll just find another girl. You should too. Um, but yeah, guys. Probably gonna cut it there. As usual, like, comment, subscribe. Help me out with the algorithm. And check out. I'll be back. Today is Friday, so I'll be back on Monday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So yeah, guys, have a good weekend, and stay stay naughty. So peace out, guys. Bye bye.